Everyone just remembers Rule 34 and 35.
What's 34?
34 is if it exists, there's porn of it.
Yes.
And number 35 is if there is no porn of it, it is up to you to make porn of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And number 20 was don't take anything on the internet seriously, which everyone forgot immediately. And then number 26 was that's not mud.
Oh yeah, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to make jokes anymore.
The internet is actually the greatest representation that there's so much variety in humans because of the amount of weird shit on the internet.
Bronies is because of the internet.
But when you're a brony, like if you're a member of that community, that shit's normal for you, right?
It's over 9,000.
Yes.
We are recording. Let's give it a few seconds here. Really? You gonna look like that? You still like... You remind me of those fish from SpongeBob.
What?
You know, like the skinny fish from SpongeBob?
No,
never
I
mind.
didn't watch SpongeBob.
Right.
Every once in a while, Chocolate will get chocolate.
Yeah, you look like one of the chocolate fish.
Oh.
Chocolate? Chocolate? All right.
Welcome to On the Spectrum podcast. My name is Nick.
And I'm Chocolate.
And that's Steve. So, as I like to do at the beginning of the episodes, me and Steve are just two human beings who do not presume to be experts of anything whatsoever, but we happen to be autistic. And we're just kind of sharing our lived experience of being autistic as well as the lives of
Apologizing
others.
for being white.
And apparently we're apologizing for being white today. So we talk to people who have opinions that are not ours. Why? Because we already know our opinions in our lives, but we want to understand other people's worlds. So
I'm sorry, out of context, anybody listening might think I was being an asshole, but
okay, Steve's just hyper fixated on that today. Okay, that's it.
yeah.
Like he's fixated on diversity and representation and stuff like that. And we had a big conversation before we started recording, but now we're going to move on. Hopefully, probably not, but hopefully. Anyway, if you like, dislike, or get offended or love what we do, please leave a comment on something,
Or if
social
you
media,
think that
whatnot.
PP times are poo poo times, please leave a comment.
Yes,
as well.
please leave a comment. Agree or disagree. We want to hear about it. Okay.
When you combine number 1 and number 2,
Absolutely.
and you make it number 3.
Ooh. It makes a soup. Oh, that's horrible. All right. So I love the look, Steve.
I'm so glad to be a part of this.
Yes, as you should be. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen,
It's a very
today
highbrow
we have
conversation.
so far. So we have someone with us today that we've had on our show before. Her name is Emily. She's pretty awesome to talk to. And we're starting off the episode talking with her because she's got a Sean Connery story, and I'm a huge fan of Sean Connery, and I want to hear it on air. So what's our Sean Connery story, Emily? By the way, welcome for coming back to the show.
Hi. So this is a family story. Back in the 60s, my grandmother, my mom's mom, had a podcast at it was like a radio show. It was like a small radio show outside of Philly.
Oh.
And she would have on guests like off Broadway actors, directors, whatever.
Yeah.
She would just talk to them. And one day she had a young gentleman, Sean Connery, on her show, and it was before 007. It was before everything.
Nice.
And she apparently had a dinner party that night that she invited him to. And so there was like big wigs and directors and stuff, whatever. So at the time of the dinner party, my mom was 1 year old, and they were doing the whole pass the baby thing, right? And so my grandmother, Louise, was approached by Sean Connery later on in the party, and he had gotten my mom, and they were on the lap and stuff and just playing. And then he hands my mom back to my grandmother and says, "Louise, I think your daughter just shat on my lap."
That's awesome. Oh, I love that she threw the voice in there.
Well,
That's
thank
great.
you.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
She made a 002.
Oh, that's good. Bravo.
Yes.
Bravo.
Yes,
Bravo.
so that's my family story about Sean Connery.
Hey, that was really down here level fruit, sir. But I appreciate you doing that joke because that was fucking funny.
No, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was great. I gotta ask though. Okay, did Grandma by any chance, get busy with him?
Have no idea.
Okay,
That's a weird question. Did your grandma bang Sean Connery? That's
what?
she started?
That would be
He
my
was probably
brag.
super charming.
I mean, that would be my brag. If my grandma hit ass with Sean Connery, that would be, I would get a tattoo on my arm that says my grandma got touched by the Connery. Okay.
Well, are there any pictures like maybe a week or two after this event where she had a black eye?
Oh, come on.
I mean, he's on the record saying that it's okay to hit women. So.
I know. Hey,
Sorry, it was on the
I
record.
don't know him as a personal human being. I don't know him personally.
Didn't he say something like it's okay to
okay?
smack a woman once in a while?
Oh, he
If
might
she
have.
deserves it.
He might have. He was Scottish and charming. He might have said anything.
You'll keep defending him. It's okay.
No, I'm not going to defend his personal life, but I love the shit out of his acting. I'm a huge fan of his voice. I used to imitate his voice all the time.
Yeah.
I don't do it
His
anymore.
career was built on the backs of bruised women.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry.
So we went from fixating on us being white and diversity to now you're fixated on
This is what happens
domestic violence.
when I get into these
Well, that's true.
modes. I
That's
just
true.
turned everything into a joke. So.
Right. And honest
I mean, that was the start of the internet.
yes, it
Unchecked
was.
humor.
Yes. By the way, I got to point out something because that list of stuff that you sent us of possible things to talk about, right? You put 2006 as the real big boom for the internet. I questioned that with him this morning and I was like, but I've been using the internet since 92. And he goes, yeah, because you're in a first world fucking country. You had privilege that way. And he was like, but also not just 2006 for like most of the world being involved, but that's really when the big jump of everything happened. And I went, oh yeah.
Right.
Because
So,
I
like,
have been using it since 92.
like anyone could make a profile anywhere on MySpace, right? So
Yes.
almost
Which I was a little
everybody
late
that I
to that
knew
game.
on there and from there, they used like troll accounts or usernames or, handle names that were not their actual names. And then Facebook rolled around, and Facebook, the only people that could make profiles had college emails. That's the only way that you could
The
make a
beginning of
profile.
it, yeah.
So you would have to use your real name. And so, like, I mean, that's how I got my original one, even though college didn't work out. So
I actually, when did Facebook start?
2004.
2004. You know what's crazy about that? 2005 is when I made my first MySpace account. I'm late to everything. Like,
okay.
I'm usually on the ass end of things being popular.
He was never a top 8 contender.
Never.
That.
What does that mean?
See? He doesn't know.
I don't know. Like, honest to God, I need to forward my fucking age.
Emily, would you like to explain the top
60-something
8?
years old.
The top 8 was like in MySpace. You had like top.
What? We lost you.
She's pausing for dramatic effect. Oh, we might have lost her. Oh no, she's back.
You guys are freezing.
No, you're freezing.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, we both could be freezing. I don't know. All right, so top 8. Because
right.
By the way, I thought you were pausing for dramatic effect, and then Steve was like, "No, she's frozen." All right.
I kept hearing you, and I was like, I don't know.
Could be Google.
Doing.
I don't know. Well, I actually just recently got a boost on our internet. Not that anyone cares, but
wait, you got a boost in the internet?
Yeah,
and
they
it's freezing?
upgraded our plan for free. Like everybody in my area just recently got like double the speeds for free.
Oh,
I don't know why. Maybe it was like a state tax incentive or something.
yeah. All right. So
Maybe it
Emily,
says
Yes, that's why.
yeah. So let's go back to top 8. What the fuck?
the top 8, like on your homepage on MySpace, it would have like your top friends, and so it would be like the profiles and stuff of your top 8.
Well,
friends.
I only ever
You
needed
can
one
change them
top
around.
friend, and
And
his
then
name was
just-
Tom.
Yes.
Do you guys know
was
Tom?
your creator.
Coincidentally, was his only friend on MySpace.
Actually, it was because I was so late to the game of MySpace. I didn't have any other friends and when I would say to somebody, "Hey, I'm finally on MySpace," somebody would go, "Oh, I left that."
Emily, what emo song was playing when people loaded your MySpace up?
It was All That I Got from The Used.
I anybody who had MySpace back in the day, it was always, as soon as you clicked on their page, it was some kind of emo song playing.
Wait,
That or like the Killers or something.
you could make music play when somebody clicked on your
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
See,
like
this
you
is how
could-
little I know about all this.
I
stuff.
saw the Used a bunch of times in concert back in the day.
God, can we switch to
That's
talking
fair.
about psychology so nobody who started this episode thinks I'm that much of a moron?
Nickel.
Put it in the jar.
All right, so everybody, so you understand, I'm not going to tell you the backstory, although I normally would. But I'm attempting to not swear as much, not just in this episode, but moving forward. I'm having a hard time controlling and censoring
We get
myself.
flagged for not child-friendly content all the time.
Yeah, I know. And it's my fault. And I mean, he swears sometimes too, but he uses it appropriately, to emphasize a good point. I, on the other hand, I use it like the word the.
He uses it as a filler word. So instead of saying he's just like,
Say,
fuck.
all right. Hey, am I allowed to use my altered variations? So, like when I used to run groups for addiction counseling, I wouldn't say F-U-C-K. I would say F-L-U-C-K.
Are you Battlestar Galactica?
Yes.
You should just say frack.
Yeah.
See, frack, I would say fluck all the time, and people would be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
When I first
I'm working on it, everybody.
When I first watched Battlestar Galactica,
yeah.
Well, like the newer, not new, but
wait,
like
isn't that the reference you just made, frack?
Yeah, that's when I first watched it, I was like, why do they keep saying frack? Or like every time they swear, they had some like alternative
Or they say
word.
fork on The Good Place.
What?
They say fork.
Oh,
on The Good Place.
They say fork instead of the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
all right. So
I gotta
for anybody,
I don't remember frack on Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, they instead of anytime they were gonna say the F-bomb instead of using the F-bomb. They said frack.
Well, no, I've
Frackin',
seen the
frack.
meme for that, but like I don't remember seeing that.
No, it was the not the old one from the 70s, like the one from the 2000s. Battlestar Galactica.
There's a new one?
Yeah, if you consider 20 years ago new.
No, I'm kidding. I didn't know they remade that show. I do know they remade the show.
The one from like 20 years ago, Nick. Yeah, they called it.
Wait,
So
really?
for
It was
anybody
20 years
listening
ago?
who doesn't know, we're talking about LOL internet today.
Yes, we're talking about internet influence on friends, connectivity, and apparently all the shit I don't know about.
So
that
I asked you before we started recording, I asked you if you knew what you'rethemannowdog.com was. So this used to be like a meme site back in the day. And basically when you went to YTMND, there was links and you would click on it and it would have a title. And the title was usually either misleading or something weird. And you click on it and then it would have a page that would loop a song or a sound effect in an image, usually like a animated GIF or something would loop. So like there used to be one called LOL Internet, and it was like Ronald McDonald wearing a helmet on a motorcycle riding, and there was a speech bubble that said LOL Internet, and there was a stupid song that would play.
Oh.
Or the original YTMND was Sean Connery saying, "You're the man now, dog," but it just repeated over for like until you clicked off of the page, it would just repeat Sean Connery saying that.
Did you know that you guys froze and all I heard was Ronald McDonald with a helmet, and then
I was explaining some of the YTMNDs. They had really weird things on there. It was a whole meme culture, kind of like how 4chan developed a meme culture.
Oh, yeah.
YTMND had its own like meme culture, and I used to make YTMNDs
back
in the day.
So
nice.
How is there so much of the like pop culture world in existence that I've never heard of?
Because you're old.
Because it all happened online.
Oh, that's right. I had a job, everybody. I actually we're talking about the early 2000s, right? She froze again. So your internet now sucks. All right.
Yes.
Hey, you're back. Okay. So
you guys are still frozen. Okay.
Okay. So we're talking about the early 2000s, right? Up to 2010, right? So at that time in my life, I was working 3 jobs for a while, and then I ended up having kids, and I was working a job and taking care of kids and stuff, and then I went into the service in 2008. So like most of the time frame you guys are talking about, like memes and all of this, really memorable fucking shit, I wasn't around for.
All right, All
right, that's all my excuses. I should have, I guess, paid attention, but
my connection in this room is over 200 megabits per second. So
wow, you had to be defensive of your internet. Jesus.
Well, I don't know what my specs are.
It says it on your phone. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so I gotta bring it up. Okay.
The early 2000s were all the internet. Everyone had a connection all at once.
Okay.
And so I feel like it was just this boom of people talking to each other at all times of the day.
It also sounds like a big bunch of like let's shit on things.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, there was
the
that.
shocking was prevalent. Well, I mean, we made jokes and comments and stuff, and we just didn't know that there was going to be someone 20 years from there being like, you guys were assholes. Here's
Shit
this
posting.
tangible readout of how much you're an asshole. And it's like, yeah we were assholes.
Shit. Shit. You know what
do you
shit
mean
posting
were?
is?
What?
Yeah.
You know what shit posting is?
Is that when you make fun of somebody?
Kind of. Shit posting is like just being an asshole, like saying
It's
like
just being a troll.
So
Yeah,
me
like-
on Twitter.
like just
Me on X.
Shit posting is like posting or saying shit you know is going to piss people off just to piss
Yeah.
people off to get a rise out of people.
Right. Have a
Or-
flame war with a stranger.
Or being offensive on purpose, like purposely trying to offend people.
So I'm going to reiterate, me on X. Which, by the way, just so everybody knows, I do not post on X. I've not been on X. I'm pretty sure my account is only active because somebody hacked it and is using it for me.
I've never liked Twitter.
I've
never liked Twitter or X because I feel like the conversations on there are brain dead because you only have like 200 something characters to respond. It's all about trying to get a sick burn on someone else or trying to own them in like 200 characters or less, and there's no nuance. So
So one of the reasons why I've just never actually, like, I made the account actually back when in our first improv group, I made the account. I just never used the motherfucker because, like, I couldn't. Damn it. MFing. All right. So, what was I saying? Oh, right. Well, I never used the thing because I never, like, it didn't make sense to me how short of a sentence you could make. And because, like, you end up having to, like, do like 30 of them just to get your point across to somebody, but nobody's paying attention that long. Come on. There's nobody. So
learn to be concise, my sir.
So I'd like to also point out that Steve, because of you, and I have to blame you for this, Steve showed me a website that I didn't know existed.
I love Steve's like,
Oh God, he was laughing so hard he could barely click that mouse off of it. He showed me this thing that
He's not familiar with the shock sites.
No,
from the 2000s.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
And he showed me one in particular, and it's your fault because you put it in the email to us. Okay.
Welcome.
And I mean, I got some choice words for you because I cannot get that time frame in my life back, nor can I get some of these images out of my head right now.
You spin me right around, baby, right around like a record.
Yeah.
So I'm going to mention the name of this, and I do not advocate anybody going to this website, but it's called Meat Spin.
Don't go.
Don't go.
Kids.
Don't do it.
go.
But if you do go, there's not just that one. There's a ton more you can click
Shock
on.
sites.
Yeah. And
there's crack that whip.
he showed me them, and he kept showing me more, even though I kept saying, please stop.
So
No means no, Stephen. All right.
My mom is a programmer, and
Yeah.
I once pranked her with Googling blue waffle.
Oh,
She didn't know
good
what I was
God.
talking about.
Good
And then
God.
her underlings were laughing at her because she was duped by her teenage daughter.
Oh.
I used to do the Rick rolling all the time.
God. See,
Or
to
not
me, that's
daughter.
funny. Rick Rollins funny. But, like, sending somebody to watch that is, like, that's not.
The grandma watching Two Girls, One Cup is
No.
probably the funniest.
Do you have to see Two Girls, One Cup while the grandma's watching it?
I don't
No, they
know
used
if that's what she was actually watching, but her reaction to the video.
They used to
Okay.
do a bunch of reaction videos back in the early days of YouTube. They filmed people reacting to Two Girls, One Cup.
Oh.
Because you couldn't show Two Girls, One Cup on YouTube, but
Thank God.
they'd show people reacting to it.
Yeah.
So like it'd be like a boyfriend showing his girlfriend
Yeah.
the video, and you just see her like
Hey,
horrified.
So maybe you two youngins can explain this stuff to me. What's with everybody obsessed with reaction videos? I mean, there's a ton of them on TikTok now, and they're still on YouTube. Like, why are we fascinated at watching other people experiencing something? Like, it's this weird voyeuristic.
I mean, why do you film
thing.
your podcast?
Ooh, burn,
Him.
burn.
Like, I wouldn't care if people watched us as long as people are listening. Like, to me, a video podcast is for a small group of people. Most people listen to podcasts like while exercising at the gym or driving in a car, doing other
Making
things.
chocolate.
Well,
Making chocolate, yeah.
there's a
Like,
benefit
how
of
often have you ever watched our video?
Usually after I'm not at work.
Okay, so like when you've got actual downtime to set up your phone to watch it, right?
Well, the benefit of having the video is mainly to be able to do clips, because then you have other content. So you can, you have the video,
that's why we're doing it.
and then you can take the video and then make clips from it instead of just having the audio. Because if you just have the audio, then when you make clips, you have to add B-roll or add something to it.
And I guess you're making a valid point, Emily, because it does connect to that reaction video kind of thing, like interviews in general. Why would you want to, like a celebrity interview or just interviewing somebody in general? What is that about? It's the audience wanting to view or be voyeuristic about somebody else's
There's
life.
nonverbal communication, Nick. You should
So,
know.
but it always strikes me odd because like some of my favorite ones though are people reacting to that song Black Betty. That's one of my favorite to watch is like people like rappers or DJs or whatnot digging
like
the song.
Just never knew the song existed, and then they're reacting.
Yeah, like some of those are pretty cool because they're getting into the song and they're like, "Oh man, I didn't realize that existed. That's really cool." Or I thought the band looked a different way, but no, they're a bunch of white guys from the Midwest. Like my favorite comment was a guy who's watching that Black Betty one, right? And he starts off with his eyes closed and he hears the dude starting to sing. And then he opens his eyes and goes, "No, that ain't him." Like, and it was so funny to me because the dude was so shocked that it's this white, ginger, long-haired guy with this little weird goatee, like Errol Flynn, like goatee on his face, right? And like he was so shocked by it, but he spent like the next 20 seconds going, "Oh my God, he's singing that. Oh my," like it was such a great reaction. And yes, I got pulled into the whole reaction idea too. It still like boggles my fucking mind why anybody wants to like watch other people experiencing something. So moving on. So you all Steve?
Oh,
I lost track of what I was saying.
Yeah, so I showed him Meat Spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you know the rules of the internet? Were you there when it was like being written?
What? What do you mean rules of the internet? I thought it was don't let your mom know you're watching porn. Like I thought that was rule one.
Okay, so like there was a site that was very much like Wikipedia format. And people would go on there and change the rules of the internet. So it was like, negative 9002 would be, number 9000 is a lie. And then, it started as 10 rules and then people just expanded either way.
So was it like an FTP site?
I don't know what that means.
God damn, I'm old. Okay. So moving on. Yeah. So the rules of the internet.
Yeah, and so like there's all these it was like number 8 was number 9 is a lie, and number 9 was like number 8 isn't the truth, and it was just so non sequitur and just so much nonsense.
That sounds
Everyone
awesome.
just remembers rule 34 and 35.
What's 34?
34 is if it exists, there's porn of it.
Yes.
And number 35 is if there is no porn of it, it is up to you to make porn of it.
Oh, that's awesome. I knew of 34.
That's
I just
why
didn't know it was internet rule 34.
There exists all kinds of weird stuff out there, Nick.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
And number 20 was don't take anything on the internet seriously, which everyone forgot immediately. And then number 26 was that's not mud.
Oh, yeah, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to make jokes anymore because apparently everybody just takes them seriously and they're offensive.
Yeah.
So.
Here's. I just thought of this, and tell me if you agree or disagree. I just thought of this. The internet is actually the greatest representation that there's so much variety in humans because of the amount of weird shit on the internet.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't,
we're all,
maybe y'all knew this already, but the old man just caught up.
We're all willing participants in like a giant experiment.
Right.
Really.
Right. Like there's so much variety of weirdness and everybody finds something else different and weird or normal or whatever on the right. But
bronies is because of the internet.
But when you're a brony, like if you're a member of that community, that shit's normal for you, right?
Do bronies still exist? Because that show doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, dude, yes. There are still people who collect My Little Pony.
I don't really talk to those people anymore. There's only one person that I talk to from that.
Wait, you don't talk to Waylon Smithers anymore?
He knows who he is. It's fine.
Oh. Well, Guy, whoever you are that she still talks to, who is a brony, hopefully you're not the creepy one.
No.
Hopefully you're the one who actually
He lives with a
appreciates the show.
furry, but
What?
he's not the creepy.
No, you just pointed out the fact that he's the creepy one.
Yeah.
He lives with a furry. By the way, inherently, there's nothing wrong with being a furry. Inherently, until you're the one who goes too far with it, and then yes, that makes you a weird one.
One of my favorite memes from back in the day was the Vegeta meme.
What?
It's over 9,000.
Yes. And
Wait,
like the
isn't
blurred
like Dragon
out
Ball Z?
visualization, and then Pedo Bear is there, and then there's Oprah.
Oprah.
There was a meme where
Well, Oprah did this segment of like talking about like found pedophiles or something.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, we have over 9,000, or not 9,000. She said something else, but there was just like evidence.
they would always add in it's over 9,000, and then they would have Vegeta.
Yeah.
Is it Dragon Ball?
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
I
It was
didn't know
dumb.
Dragon Ball Z until I dated someone, and I was like, oh, well, I just missed.
That's all right. There's a lot of things I didn't know about until I dated people, like sex. And
Good sex.
One of my
well, that came eventually.
one of the weird ones back in the day, back on YTMND, there used to be an energy drink called Gay Fuel.
What?
Yeah, in the early 2000s, I don't know if it still exists. There was an energy drink called Gay Fuel.
Wait, real?
No.
Yeah.
Or was it like a fucking?
No, it was a real drink.
Fluckin'. I said fluckin'.
I'd rather you just not say either of those words, because flucking sounds worse. I'd rather you just swear at that point.
Well, why is flucking worse? It's
Because
an
it sounds
L.
stupid.
Whatever.
It sounds like you're a big chicken.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It sounds like you're an adult who doesn't know how to use words properly. You're flucking. Anyway,
Right.
Okay, I'm trying not to swear. I said it at the beginning.
Gay Fuel, they used
Yeah.
to make memes where they would just insert it into weird places. So it would be like an awkward gay moment, and all of a sudden the Gay Fuel can would pop in.
Wait, but it was like there was really a such thing as Gay Fuel.
I don't know if it still exists.
Like it
but
was
yeah,
an energy drink
Yeah.
called
I
Gay.
remember
Fuel.
Jolt and Surge.
Oh,
Okay, Surge. I remember. I used to drink.
have you guys
that.
ever heard the song Tarzan Boy by Baltimora?
No.
It goes, oh,
Oh yeah. I do
It's
know
like an
that
80s song.
Yeah.
So whenever the Gay Fuel meme would come in, that
Uh-huh.
song would start playing. So the cam would just appear, and then they would play. I don't know why it was funny. It was so stupid.
I'm sorry. Tarzan, the animated movie by Disney, when he's like sliding on the vines and stuff, and then you have that play, and then it
Gay
says
Fuel.
Gay Fuel.
They were the dumbest memes. I don't know like where this stuff came from. Or do you remember Revenge of the Sith?
Oh yeah.
When Revenge of the Sith came out, and do you know at the end of the movie when Vader first gets his mask and everything,
Yeah.
and Palpatine tells him that Padme's dead, and he goes, "No!" It was so awkward that moment when he yells "No." There was like a shit ton of memes back and then. Like they had one where it was Vader standing in a field and it was snowing out, and it was like snow or stuff like that. Or they had like Vader on a
saw
roller
one that it
coaster,
was
and
like-
it was like no going on the roller coaster. And
One that it was like the wrong hole. No.
that was the cringiest scene in Star Wars.
How is that cringy? He's upset. He just lost the love of his life that he was trying to protect.
Nobody goes no.
Don't blame Hayden Christensen for being a shitty actor.
It's not him acting; it's the writing was bad.
I'm sorry. Wouldn't you get overwhelmed and overcome by emotion
Yeah.
if I died?
I wouldn't put my hands up in the air and go no.
You know what? Then blame William Shatner, okay, for yelling "Khan" in.
That was no. George Lucas is just not very good at writing scripts.
Yeah, other people usually wrote his scripts for him, and then he just
Right.
slapped his name on things.
Yeah. Well, I thought he directed the first three, and then the second set of three he didn't.
He only
direct.
directed Star Wars. He didn't direct He didn't direct Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought he did. All right. Sorry, I'm really bad at this whole fandom thing.
And he didn't write Empire Strikes Back. He wrote Star Wars, and I think he mostly wrote Return of the Jedi. But that's why
Okay.
Empire Strikes Back was the best one, because the script
No,
was a little bit
no,
more. Yes,
it
it
is
was.
not the best one.
It is.
No, when the bad guy wins, it's not a good movie.
All right, the script was way better than that. The dialogue is much more realistic. versus like
Dude, it's a space movie and you want realism. It
Is
has magic.
realistic dialogue that people can relate to, Nick.
What?
Now,
How do you relate to Jedis? Yo, dude, Captain Kirk did that in like.
Okay, so you froze just when you were doing this, and that was great. You're just
no.
That is actually great. I wish we could have taken.
Sorry,
a
I forgot.
screenshot
Nick
of that.
loves Jar Jar Binks and all of the stupid shit that.
I don't love Jar Jar Binks.
You know,
I think he was funny, but I don't love him.
Jar Jar Binks is a racist caricature.
I know. Yeah, okay. But when the movie came out, I didn't hear any of that because, again, I clearly wasn't on the internet to hear people pick apart a fucking fictional character.
Anyway.
Oh, I swear again. Damn it. I owe you like $1 already. And we're what? 20 minutes into this? Jesus.
we are 5 times into this. However many I've been keeping count.
You've been keeping count of how many times I'm swearing? Oh my God. Oh my God. You're
I'm
like
gonna actually
you're the weirdest producer for us ever.
The next time that we record, I'm going to put a jar in the middle of the table.
You know,
can have
me
to
and
put money
Emily
in every
talked
time.
about that already.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm going to put one on the table.
Yeah, we said that would be a good. We said all of that.
It wasn't on air though. It's not recorded.
Oh, no, clearly it's Steve's idea because now we have evidence somebody said it.
Sorry, the guy who likes George Lucas's dialogue over here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
only
Let's
Clerks
listen to
and Star Wars came together. And
let's listen to an hour and a half of people in space talking about politics and trade federations.
No,
and
that was in number
pretty sure that's
1,
Dune.
dude. That was not in number 4. Number 4 was awesome.
I like the movie. The dialogue's fucking horrible.
Whatever. Well, you want realistic in a movie about space.
You keep saying I don't think that word means what you think it means.
What?
You keep saying realistic. I'm talking about realistic dialogue.
Yeah, I know.
It's science fiction. It's not going to be realistic. I'm saying,
Right.
but you can have people who have real conversations and don't talk like fucking robots.
What are you talking about with Han and Oh, that was in Empire, wasn't it?
Yeah, all of the memorable lines are from Empire Strikes Back when somebody else wrote the script.
That's not true.
Yeah, but then Harrison Ford improvised "I Know." So
Yeah,
that was all Harrison.
that was Harrison Ford because he's awesome.
I'm sorry.
Wait, okay. Before we move on, who's your favorite character in all of Star Wars history?
The
in
Sand
all
people
of
walk
Star Wars
single file
canon.
to hide their numbers.
All of Star Wars.
I'm a fan of Alec Guinness. All right, don't make fun of him. Yeah, all of
Including,
Star
like,
Wars
the
canon.
brand new ones.
All of it. It
I
could
don't
be
know
from
enough
Bad
to
Batch. It
know
could
that
be
character.
from Ahsoka or whatever it's called. It could be from Mandalorian. Any Star Wars whatsoever.
You? Oh, okay. Now you're back.
Yep. So are you.
Aren't you kind of short for a stormtrooper?
Oh my God.
That's no moon. This is the best dialogue ever.
Whatever. I do not have high expectations
is
for
George
dialogue in Star Wars.
Is George Lucas autistic? Is that why he wrote the script? Like with no.
Oh, no wonder I like it so much. All right.
It's all direct and pointing things out, which is like when you're supposed to be more subtle when you're writing a script.
No,
Like-
you don't have to be. It's a fucking sci-fi. Okay, we're not talking about fucking the Grapes of Wrath or some shit. We're not talking about War and
It's-
Peace in a movie.
It's a little
We're-
bit
come on.
cringy and it makes the story less interesting when you just call everything out. You're supposed to let people figure things out through subtlety. That's what makes watching a movie enjoyable and fun is people figuring shit out and going along for the journey, not
No, for
like,
you.
oh look, that's a Death Star.
Yeah.
That's a Death Star.
What's wrong with that? And then they go have a battle and it's action scene, and then we have like force powers and stuff.
Hey,
Like no.
Emily, just never let Nick
Anyway.
write a script for you.
Anyway.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I'm not a writer, okay? I used to pretend like I was, but he got better at it than me, and I stopped doing it. So, Emily, your favorite character in Star Wars? We've given you enough time to think about it.
I don't know because
Oh,
I just
all right.
don't know all the characters like a
Well,
lot
yeah,
of
but
people do.
the characters you know, which one stands
Okay.
out to you?
And
then, Steven, I'm coming to you
I always
next.
like Princess Leia.
Okay.
It was crazy,
Because you
Okay.
like cinnamon buns?
of course.
All
I do
right.
have friends that used to. So I have this one friend in St. Louis. He was a handler / like security guy at cons, and he would always be requested by
Carrie
her.
Fisher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
I actually like Postcards from the Edge, which is a movie she did. I think she wrote it. But I really
You
like
apparently would run up to fans and throw glitter and then run away.
Carrie Fisher would?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was also on drugs a lot too.
Yes.
Well, at one point in her life, not towards the end or anything. But Steve, what's your favorite Star Wars character?
I think if you're talking the original trilogy, probably Han Solo, just because he's cool. And Harrison Ford was a much better actor than everybody else. He's just charismatic.
It's true.
It's actually if you're talking about the prequels, probably Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan.
Oh, Ewan McGregor was in the market.
When?
He was at Krog Street Market earlier this week, just grabbing lunch.
Oh, that's awesome. Is he filming something in Atlanta?
I'm assuming so. I think like Disney or Marvel has a house down the street from Krog Street, and Owen Wilson has stayed there before. I've met him a few times, and now Ewan McGregor.
Wait, did you just say you met him a few times?
Owen Wilson? Yeah, he likes our chocolate. He likes our ginger.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, would you like to plug your chocolate one more time?
No.
Oh, right.
I can't
What?
My favorite Star Wars meme is the Obi-Wan and General Grievous one. Hello there.
I can't. So maybe I got a weird way to pick this, but I actually love Qui-Gon Jinn just because it's Liam Neeson. And
he was great for the 20 minutes of Star Wars. He was.
It's true. It's true. He was in most of the first movie.
I know.
I
was exaggerating.
Most. All right. But I actually do want to say something because you said Harrison Ford being the best actor of all of them in all of Star Wars, right?
Well, the best of the original trilogy.
Oh, best of the original. Okay. I heard you say best period, and I was like, I'd really like to put Pedro Pascal and Adam Driver in that list of great actors. Because even though like I don't like what Adam Driver did with that character, but I actually kind of blame the writers for that. I really think Adam Driver is an amazing actor. Like he gets into a character. I just think they didn't really give him as much as they should have for him to be able to truly get into that character.
I didn't like the sequels at all, but we don't have to make this a Star Wars episode. So
yeah, it's about the internet, Nick.
Jeez. Oh yeah, internet.
Lol, internet.
I'm sorry.
What about Nyan Cat? Remember Nyan Cat?
Yes.
What the hell is a Nyan Cat?
Steve?
Like it's literally this episode is going to be titled Nick's Old.
It's a cat flying through space with a rainbow behind it.
What?
Yeah. Sometimes it's a Pop-Tart too.
A Pop-Tart, yeah.
What?
It's a cat floating through space with a rainbow.
Coming out of it?
Yeah, from behind. It's a Nyan Cat.
It's a cat with diarrhea of a rainbow?
Sure.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Cats are very popular in meme culture, Nick.
Well, yeah, I know Grumpy
Leet
Cat.
Speak?
Icon has cheeseburger.
What? Wait, what'd you just say? What speak?
Do you remember Leet Speak?
Yeah, 1337.
What? What?
1337.
You guys are getting a kick out of the fact I don't know shit.
Leet Speak was using numbers as letters, basically.
Yeah, but what was there like a code?
I love most of the episodes.
Like a zero.
What? Most of the episode is freezing?
Yeah, most of the episode is freezing, but
Yeah,
I just wait.
Yeah, me too. In fact, we just completely stopped talking the second it freezes, and just so we have dead air when people are listening at the gym. They're like, what's wrong with my phone? How come it's not playing?
It's bold of you to presume that people who listen to our show work out.
No, I just like the vast majority of people who listen to podcasts or not participate, but listen to them are listening when they're doing other activities, and majority of them are like
while I'm cooking and driving.
Right, driving is the key number one time people listen to podcasts, and the other one somehow happens to be the gym. Even though America is the most obese country on the planet, but yet somehow we're listening to them mostly at the gym.
When I listen to when I'm exercising, like going for a walk, or if I'm running, or when I used to go to the gym, I would usually watch like game videos instead.
What?
Instead of podcasts, I would watch like gaming, like videos about video games.
Game. I thought you said
like not like watching people play like on Twitch, but more so like guide videos or like tip videos where explaining stuff like
No,
deeper
I
detail
understand.
about a game.
But you said game video. I heard you say gang videos, and I'm
Yes.
like, what is Steve watching?
Making my way through the hood.
Like, what are you watching? Steve's watching documentaries about the Crips or something.
I watch Boys in the Hood while I'm at the gym.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll watch it. I'll listen to any podcast with Michael Hobbs.
Who?
He's a great journalist, and he's been on like Maintenance Days, You're Wrong About, Books Can Kill.
All those popular ones.
Yeah.
So I actually I try to have a wide variety, I should say, of different types of podcasts that I listen to. Just because, like, for one hand, I'm listening to them for like similarities amongst them, so we can try to incorporate it and get better at what we do. But also, I'm watching them as a wide variety because it's different opinions, right? If you listen to too many that lean in one direction or another, then you're just reinforcing your own stupid beliefs.
So, Emily,
Anyway.
you wanted to talk about online friendships.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that?
So
Yeah. Where do you want to go with that?
Most of my online friends, I made in my early 20s because
the
I was
internet was
either-
blowing up.
Huh?
Because the internet was blowing up at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was talking. There was so much funniness to have. It was easier than talking to actual people because I would either be taken advantage of or it was just
because it was
I got
safer.
drunk a lot.
It
in my
was
early 20s.
it was safer to go online to talk.
Yeah.
So
And
here's
like the people that would talk to me were already like up and about, and they were either in the UK or in Australia.
yeah, you could talk to a wider range of people that way too. But here's my question, okay? And I'm going to take the old man stance on this, okay?
Oh my
Are online people really friends? Because
Yes.
how do we define? Wow, that was really quick. But how do we define friends in a lot of ways? Because from the old man standpoint, not really an old man standpoint, but from the old man standpoint, a friend is somebody who can be there for you when you need them. And I'm thinking like in a practical sense, like when you need to move, when you need to hang out with somebody, when you need somebody to join you somewhere.
My friends online would help me move if they could physically.
Well, but that's wanting to and then actually doing are two very different things when it comes to certain activities.
Like intent.
What?
Means a lot.
What?
Your last episode about intent.
Whoa, throwing our own words at us.
Yep.
So, but even
Well, to be
with
fair, that was my topic.
yeah,
so.
that was his topic. It is something we both agree on, which is why we.
I
talked
actually once had a friend online for several years, and a group of my real life friends were friends with this other guy online we used to play video games with.
Yeah.
We used to play Counter-Strike with.
Oh yeah.
We actually went up to Canada and hung out with him for 2 weeks.
Holy shit!
His mom was a member of the government in Toronto, in Ontario.
Yeah.
So we went to her fucking huge house. They had extra bedrooms and stuff, so we stayed there.
Right.
She was a member. I don't know what her position was, but she worked for the government. She was like some important person. We hung out there for 2 weeks in Canada. It was great.
That's awesome.
We watched Trailer Park Boys, smoked a lot of weed.
Awesome. So this is why I asked this question about friendships, is because a lot of people have a different variation of what
that was my
means to
point
be
in
a
bringing
friend.
up that story is that like
yeah.
sometimes they can actually transition into real life.
Into real life. But like for some people, online
Some people
friends.
are poor, Nick.
What?
Some people are poor, and we can't like
I know.
Oh,
go to Canada.
to be
know.
fair, I was 18
Go
when
to
this
Australia.
happened,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
he
was
was-
broke, but I drove up there.
Yeah, he was 18.
Yeah.
No,
I had
like,
no money.
but so the definition of friend can be very, very different. Everybody can have their own like expectations of what being a friend means, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what kind of occurs to me, because in my, let's call it limited definition of what a friend is, it's hard for me to conceptualize that just talking to somebody online can make them a friend, right? Because I do have, like for myself, I have certain I think she's frozen. Okay.
It's because
So-
her heart's not open.
So I have certain
My heart is way open.
I have certain expectations. Like by no means am I saying that if we continue talking, we won't become friends. but I also like, and we've had other people that we've interviewed too that I talk to way more in like private message and stuff. On a side note, it creeps me out when people say DM opposed to private message. Yeah, it creeps me out. I don't know why, but it does. When people are like, "Oh, send me a DM," I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that.
I'm your private messenger, your messenger for money.
All right.
I'll do what you want me to
So, but I think that's kind of an important standpoint to take on this is like to define what it means.
Nick, you should start a
to be a
website
friend
called
for.
OnlyFriends, since this is such an important thing to you.
So like online friendships, I feel like were always like looked down upon.
They were. I can tell you straight up, like we had a friend growing up who was in our circle of like 5 or 6 guys, and he said, "I've got a friend in California," and we picked on him horribly till he shut up and never brought up that friend.
My friends in Canada are actually real.
Well, yeah, they're probably real. No, he had an actual friend in California. He used to play video games with the guy.
I had a pen pal from the Ukraine when I was a teenager.
What?
Yeah. Well, online pen pal.
Okay. Anyway, Emily, what is your definition of this? Because this is actually your topic, and
So like
I could babble for
online
hours.
friendships are intent to connect in some way, and if you're open to, I don't know, talking about deeper feelings, you can do that through chat just fine.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a hard time typing out how I feel. Ask him.
Yeah,
I tried to be
that's a
open
you
last
problem.
night, and it
that's
didn't
not
work.
a world problem, obviously.
Whoa.
During quarantine, I feel like a lot of people changed their minds about online connection because people would just
I agree.
randomly add Zoom meetings to like random people.
Yeah,
People had
I
a Zoom.
agree.
Zoom.
I agree.
One of my
COVID did change a lot of stuff in that way.
One of
I
my
do
friends
agree.
threw me a Zoom birthday party during the pandemic.
Oh my God. You know, I will tell you that my opinion has changed a great deal about that, you know, nowadays too. I mean, I'm mostly speaking of the way I conceptualized it growing up and all of that kind of stuff, right? Like I started with AOL Instant Messenger.
See, the
and
internet
group
used to be a
chats.
place for Nick to find kids to prey on. Now it's a place for friends.
So yeah, back to the
I missed
actual
all of
show.
that. You guys are frozen.
I said the internet used to be a place for Nick to find kids to prey on. Now it's a place for him to find friends.
Nick is the original pedo bear.
I don't think I'm hairy enough to be that yet.
I'm gonna send you a new router, Emily.
Yeah, we might have to. Anyway,
I'm just kidding. I don't know if it's your fault.
No,
But I
like-
will say I
Oh.
do have like a special setup in this room to make sure I get.
yeah, that is true. That is true. So, like I was saying before, I totally frozen. Oh, there we go. Hey, you're back.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, I will say that
You
like
could try disconnecting and reconnecting if you want, and I can just cut the.
in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to try that?
Sure.
Okay. So we're gonna be right back for a short and important break.
Yeah, you don't have to say that.
I do.
Okay.
I'm that guy.
The guy who likes George Lucas's writing.
Dude, it's a fucking sci-fi western. How fucking great do you expect that rating to be?
I'm just saying you don't have to call him. It's like, hey, there's Picard on the wall. Yes, thanks, Nick. We're going to be right back. Yes, that will be apparent when we come right back.
No, but
Because I'm gonna cut from.
like, come on, old school TV and stuff like that.
I was just gonna cut from before I said, why don't we just reconnect and then just cut to us continuing the conversation. Why do I need to announce it?
Well, because it'll sound fucking weird.
No, well,
Yes, it will.
how?
Because we're gonna be talking about something, cut, and then jump in somewhere else in that conversation.
Not if you edit it well.
No, seriously, that's the way it's gonna work. I've heard other programs do it that way.
I've heard of the Hold on, before you start talking, let me make this full screen. There we go. I'm your private dancer. Sorry.
Are we recording again?
Oh yeah, he didn't stop.
Oh.
I just there's
He
this
can
magical
edit it.
tool called Adobe, and I can edit things.
Jesus.
Okay.
Where were we?
You're wrong about online friendships being
Yes,
real.
We're talking about Nick being the original pedo bear.
Oh my
yes,
good
yes.
God. Yeah, we were talking about that before we. Oh Jesus.
It used to be so difficult. You had to buy a van. You had to paint it white. You
Candy
had
on the side.
Now, I mean, you could just go right online and they just come right to you.
Yeah, that's so horrible. Okay. No, well, okay. Not to make that a segue into something, but a segue into something nonetheless. But like before dating sites came up and shit, there were AOL chat rooms where you would go in and you would talk to people, and that was a way you met people.
And it was a roulette wheel, whether it's Chris Hansen or not.
Well, actually, weirdly enough, very shortly after those group chats and stuff came about, there was a lot of news coverage about people being catfished, but they didn't call it catfishing at that time.
I used to go into those chat rooms when I was like 13.
Yes. Well, even before To Catch Predator was on TV.
I was 13, 14 years old going in those chat rooms. I probably shouldn't have been in there. But
no.
Same.
No, I was 13 and 14. It was 93, 94,
I go
maybe
like,
95.
Hi, AFL.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Right.
I ended up meeting people in some of those.
Yeah.
Like girls I dated.
Yeah.
I mean, most of my friends that I would talk on AIM were like other classmates. They weren't like strangers. It was just instead of doing homework.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk to any of them. Like,
There was
I
a
didn't want
girl-
to talk to classmates. I had a couple of friends, but they were all kids that lived close by me, and I felt like I had to talk to those people. I mean, don't get me wrong. A couple of them were nice guys and all that. I mean, we've drifted apart hugely since, but
I mostly talked to people from school as well. I did have.
I was really odd.
This
I was
girl-
8, and I was talking the way I talk now.
There was a girl on my school bus that I had a crush on that I used to talk to on AIM.
So yeah, so I will say that, like, when it comes to online, I know a lot of people have found a lot of solace and a lot of contentment and a lot of satisfaction by talking to people and connecting with people, because you do have a wider range of people to talk to. It's not just everybody who lives in your area who might be homogeneously super white middle class or some shit, or for some people I don't know, low class white or fucking poor people. Fuckers. I don't know.
They don't exist.
It's not people you're surrounded by.
Every
Is what
white
I'm trying to
person's
say.
rich.
It's not. Oh wow. So
I mean, if you're an outcast or like someone who doesn't
which I
get
was.
along with those around you,
Right.
One of my friends, she passed away last year, but she was in the middle of nowhere, Alabama, and she was like a liberal redneck, so she was labeled as crazy, but she wasn't.
Well, of course
crazy.
she was.
She just
No, that's crazy.
she was smarter than her zip code. So.
Yeah, if you live surrounded by rednecks and you're not Republican, that's just crazy. You should go seek mental help.
Yeah.
Not really. So, no, and I do understand the appeal
I've
to
met
that.
her once.
Aren't you like?
That was all I could afford.
You're
I
in
was
neighboring
2
states,
hours
correct?
apart. It was 2018.
But you're in neighboring states, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I took a bus.
Yeah. It's what, a 6-hour drive?
It was 10 hours on a bus.
God damn. How big is Georgia again? Oh yeah, that's right.
It was 3 hours, like distance wise, but there was stops. That
Oh
the
yeah,
bus
because
had to
bus.
make and
Yeah, that's
stuff.
right.
I hate long bus rides because the seats are usually so uncomfortable.
You hate any time that there's more
After-
than like 2 people in a car.
After 20 minutes, my ass is numb.
Yeah.
Can't feel my butt at all.
Yeah,
That's because you don't have a butt.
that's
true, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I hate that those seats are so bad.
Hey, yo, we've got an excuse to go to Atlanta.
Do we? You want to go stalk her in person?
Yeah.
No, not stuff. See, that's the thing. I mentioned shit like, "Hey, let's go, to another state and hang out with some of the people we've met." And he immediately goes, "What are we stalking
Just
people?"
don't give him any chocolate
what
because
the
you know what he's
fuck?
going to do with it. So
What?
Yeah, wrong van. All right.
he's going to get
No,
he's going to get the pedal bear costume.
Well, okay,
Just put it
so
on.
there was a stand-up comedian,
I've
right?
actually seen that cosplay. And then
What? Wait, what?
we were talking
there's
about
a
getting you a pedal bear
cosplay
costume.
that I saw once, and then their partner was dressed as a little girl. Real bad. Real bad.
It's bad, but it's hilarious.
When fucked up it.
I mean,
when
because
messed up internet stuff goes
think
real.
the Gen Zers,
Yeah, you got to write that down.
The Gen Zers don't get it. I think they think it's cringe, but
Yeah.
like we
But
grew up
that's the
with
joke.
yeah, we grew up
Yeah.
with like all these horrible like all this dark humor.
No, I think my generation started it though, because we had a lot of, in my generation, we watched a lot of shock comics. And then that bled over to the internet and this whole like.
I mean, if you look up the earlier comedy of Robin Williams, who basically raised us,
don't you dare.
Gen Xers were just not Gen Xers, Gen Zers were just like have a conniption.
Oh, absolutely. And whatever the newest one is, Millennials or whatever they call now. Yeah, Alpha Gen. Like these people like would lose their minds if they listened to like Dennis Leary or Richard Pryor or Robin Williams.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah, Eddie Murphy. Oh man, absolutely.
I mean, he apologized for some of his jokes from the 80s. He apologized for some of the because he made a lot of anti-gay jokes.
You know what? I'm gonna say this and don't hold Emily or Steve accountable for what I'm about to say, but I don't believe any stand-up comic while on stage. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't believe any stand-up comic should have to apologize for anything they said on stage at all, period.
I mean, I think comics are modern philosophers.
I agree with it. Like,
depends
I agree.
On what they say.
Need to.
It is possible to cross a line. What about Michael Richards?
I don't believe that. I don't believe.
Michael Richards.
Hold on, but there's a context.
Yelled the N-word at somebody in the audience.
There's a context of why. There was a context of why he ended up doing that, and quite honestly,
I'd like to hear you defend
that's
him
not.
Saying
Hold on. It wasn't part of his set that he said the N-word. He got super frustrated at somebody and said the N-word. It wasn't part of his joke set. It wasn't part of his stand-up.
He was dealing with a heckler and he lost his
shit. That's different. He should apologize maybe for that. But what I'm saying is like Eddie Murphy.
Said they shouldn't have to apologize for anything they say on
stage.
No.
Part of their set, dude, as their profession, they should not have to apologize for it.
But a lot of people are also doing crowd work now, which is off the cuff.
Yeah, but that crowd work is not part of a written set they've put together.
So if they say do something in crowd work and they say something that pisses people off, then they should
if they
apologize.
Yeah, if they cross the line doing crowd work, they absolutely should, because they're not just engaging in the audience by talking their point of view. They're directly talking to a human being. Sorry. So back to talking about the internet.
Well, I agree with you like 90% of the time, but I think there are like maybe 1 out of 10 cases where I think somebody should consider apologizing for a joke that went too far.
I also think that we get to where we are in social culture because of that, though, because we're forcing comics when they're talking about something on a stage to apologize, or like if I don't know, I think they should have to apologize if they said something on like Twitter or Reddit or social media site. I think maybe then, unless it's like a clip from their show. But sorry, back to you. What's your opinion on all this?
I wasn't paying attention. I was making a reel.
You were making a reel?
I wanted to make a reel for the show, or for being on the show.
You made what? How'd you make a reel?
I have a different device.
Oh. So you put up your phone and you were just like, I'm doing a podcast and I feel like I'm being ignored. I didn't even hear you say anything.
I wasn't saying anything.
Oh.
I was just recording you guys.
Oh.
My face.
All right.
Reaction video.
Oh, reaction video. Right.
Yeah, I do.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Make sure you tag us and tell other people that our show doesn't suck.
In the pursuit of art and comedy, sometimes people make mistakes. And I will say that maybe your position on that comes from having a little bit of privilege.
And it also is a matter of, I do not agree with censoring somebody just because 30, 40 years later, society has shifted in a direction that doesn't like.
We're not talking
what
about
they said
censoring.
at
We're talking
point.
about apologizing. Like Eddie Murphy apologized for his gay jokes.
But I don't think he should have to apologize for something he said 40 years ago.
He didn't have to. He just
chose
to.
And at the time, nobody was making this huge stink about it. I mean, there were people who were offended by some of his jokes, but no shit. Everybody has said something fucking offensive in some way. At the same time, that's his fucking profession, is to get a reaction out of you.
But
I don't think you should have to apologize.
Well, like no one before has had like the ability to look back on what others have said in that capacity.
Like, there's been stand-up people who've been on TV since like the 40s.
Yeah, but there's never been like social media platform to be like, hey, remember this person? They were trash 40 years ago.
But that's part of my point with this too, is like, we say they should have to apologize now because we have a greater access to the information, but that's one of the downsides to the internet. Well, actually, that's one of the things that's a pro and con. People can't grow. People cannot change. People cannot evolve.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying that's why that there is such an issue now of judging people in the past.
But
everybody has a platform to share their opinion about it, is what you're saying.
But that's okay. But that's also part of what's okay about it, is because that's a comic's job, is to get people to talk. I think that's one of their jobs, is to get people to talk. And if they have to say a joke that makes you hate the comic, but then have a conversation as you drive home about it, fucking great. Like, I even comics nowadays, like Neil Brennan just put out a comedy special, doing well, good for now, or something like that. I'm good, or something like. Anyway, whatever the name of it is, and in it he says some things that somebody's going to get upset about. But I don't believe he should have to apologize for any of it, because he makes really good points in it too. And it's conversation starters. And as you said, Emily, comics are modern day philosophers. And what are philosophers for? To get you to think about something in a different way. So even comics nowadays, I think, should not have to apologize for what they say professionally on a stage. Now, once you get off that stage and you start calling the lady in the back room, start telling her she's got to get back in the kitchen, you should probably apologize for that. That's not part of your act. That's you being a dick. You know what I mean? Like, that's you just being a dick. It's kind of like, oh shit, what's her name? I forgot her name. There's a short-haired, blonde, glasses, lesbian comic. She makes a lot of really good points about heteros and silly shit they do, right? And I agree with some of her points, and she makes some funny jokes, but she is kind of shitting on a group of people, right? And I don't have a problem with it, but if she got off stage and said, something to the effect of like, breeders need to be censored, or we need to, I don't know, filter out some of those breeders, yeah, you might want to apologize for that, because you're shitting on an entire demographic of people at that point.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'll shut up, guys. Let's move on. Internet. Oh, everybody should apologize for everything. No, sorry. You both gave me that look like, Nick, come on, round it out here. All right.
I mean, you're not wrong, but also there are some, I don't know. I think I agree with both of you.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, but that's fair too. And this right here is part of, to me, this is something that is lost in internet world and in real life now because of the internet and social media. I think being able to have a conversation and have 3 different points of view, because somebody's going to shit on each one of us for each one of us having a different point of view. And I like, why can't we have nuanced, different conversation? And why can't we disagree, but agree on something of it? Like, why does it have to be such shut down black and white? Oh, like, what the fuck? Anyway, I think that's kind of where all of this,
because you can't afford to be neutral on a moving train, Nick.
What? What?
Howard Zinn. Never mind.
Who's Howard Zinn?
I don't want to get into it.
Yeah. Okay. There's so, like, honest to God, outside of psychology, I don't know shit. Like, honest to God.
Have you ever heard of the book A People's History of the United States?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's that book.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't know if that's originally his quote, but I think some people reference it. It's in the book or something.
All right. So, wow. Look at that expression. All right. So anyway, Emily, we have taken quite a lot of your time, and I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you very much for being here. Hopefully it was just as entertaining as last time.
Yes. Just as entertaining. You got up to $8.
I was just about to ask you. I only did 8.
Which is pretty good.
I did 8 in an hour.
How many fucks does Nick give?
Something crazy. Something crazy.
Like on the side of the screen.
So my wife for Valentine's Day bought me a jar of fucks. And no joke, it's about yay tall, okay? And it looks like an old school like spice jar, okay? And right on the tag it says give a fuck. And it's literally these wood carved, the word F-U-C-K, carved in wood, and it's just a ton of them in this jar. I literally can now give a fuck to someone.
It's kind of fun that I thought we were going to get into more like internet culture and talking about like autism spaces and how autism, like people interact in these communities online. But it's kind of fun to just fuck around and.
Then why didn't you bring that up? If that's what you wanted to talk about, if you were hoping we would get to that, then why didn't you bring that up?
I'm not going to give you a real answer right now.
Yeah.
But
don't
anyway,
give me a real answer right now. And if you tell me it's because I talk too much, come on.
And remember, guys,
he has his podcast, Steve.
All PP times. Not all PP times are poopy times.
Are you going to update people on your vaccine?
Well, it's going into clinical trials next week. It's not a vaccine, it's an autism cure.
That's
Vaccines are what cause the autism.
Yes, that's right.
The cure.
I'm a volunteer, honestly.
Yeah.
You've now got a second person to experiment on.
Yeah.
So what we do is
take some of the smartness away.
Uh-huh.
In order to start the cure, you have to take it on a Friday because Friday I'm in love.
What? What? I don't get that reference.
It's okay.
Okay.
There is a group called The Cure.
Oh, I do know
they're actually from your generation, not mine.
Yeah, I know they are. Yeah.
That took me so long to get.
Yeah. All right. So again, thank you very much, Emily. Everybody, if you got this far into the episode, let us know what you think. Let us know if Steve's right and we babbled in this episode way too much, or if you would like us to talk about autism, internet, and whatever the hell he mentioned earlier, let us know that as well. But thanks if you listen this far.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of our people in these communities.
I know that.
I can't wait to rewatch this episode without it freezing so much.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. That's why I made a Madonna joke earlier. So I don't know if I think you picked up on it.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
All right.
Pee pee poo poo.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.